Purdy. End zone is picked. Intercepted by Hamilton. This one is batted into the air and into the arms of Humphrey. In and around, there are 2 flags on the play. This is another pick by Hamilton. Tonight, here's another pick. That's Patrick Queen.
Absolutely, he needs to be in the MVP discussion. I'm not going to say that he's going to win, but I think we got to mention his name when we start talking about these other quarterbacks.
The Brock Purdy haters came out in full force after the 49ers loss against the Ravens, in which he threw 4 interceptions. But if you actually watch that game, he didn't actually play terribly, with 3 of those interceptions being tipped. At the same time, I definitely can't say he played anywhere near his best. After essentially losing the MVP debate, Purdy was going to have a chip on his shoulder going into the Washington game, and he played near perfect football. Purdy went 22 of 28 for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. While these starts aren't exactly eye-popping, this is exactly what the Niners need from Purdy in a route to the Super Bowl. And while many say it's all about the system, his second passing touchdown was due to a key scramble while not panicking, keeping his eyes down the field and finding Brandon Aiyuk for a 17-yard strike. And this has been the mold for the 49ers' success all season. They want to be the team that pounds the rock with the best RB in the league in Christian McCaffrey, play great defense, and set Brock Purdy up for success. And while many believe he is able to do this because of Shanahan's system, they are wrong. While it definitely makes it easier for Purdy to be successful, he still goes out and executes and makes highly accurate throws that we aren't seeing across the NFL. At the start of December, only 48.6% of Brock Purdy's passing yards came after the catch, which is less than the past 3 NFL MVP winners by almost 4% each. Purdy is doing one heck of a job under center, and it has led to a lot of their success, even against some great defenses. Many are forgetting this is a Niners team that beat the Dallas Cowboys by over 30 points, a red-hot Jaguars team at the time by 30 points, a 23-point win versus the Eagles, have taken care of their division rival Seahawks twice, and many more impressive victories. So one bad loss shouldn't make anyone think this team shouldn't be feared, and that there is now a blueprint to beat them. Before I continue on, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind, and your support truly does mean the world. Anyways, getting back to things, one of the reasons I said what I just said is because of how well coached they are. Kyle Shanahan is one of, if not the best offensive mind in football, and is able to highlight all his weapons week in and week out. He always finds creative ways to get guys like CMC, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Aiyuk open. Those guys are also known as some of the best yard after catch players in the whole league. But what separates these guys from many is their unselfish play. Yes, CMC and the O-line is a huge reason the Niners' run game is so special, but it's also because their skill players do a great job of blocking downfield. Just a few weeks ago, on the first play from scrimmage, CMC busted a 70-yard run, and who else but Brandon Aiyuk was right there with him blocking 70 yards downfield. Now, some people may not care about that, but those are the little intangibles that can win championships. It has helped McCaffrey achieve an MVP level season from the running back position. CMC has been dominant this year, leading the league in rushing yards with 1,459. He's 4th in the league in rushing touchdowns with 14, and also has a slight 564 receiving yards and 7 receiving touchdowns. Brandon Aiyuk has been one of the best receivers in the NFL this season without many noticing. While ranking just 35th in the NFL interceptions, he's 7th in the league in yards with 1,342, averaging almost 18 yards a catch. We all know what Deebo Samuel can do with the football, and you can't forget about the best blocking tight end in the league, who also has the most receiving yards from the tight end position this year, in George Kittle. And maybe the scariest part about all this is that I haven't even mentioned their star-studded defense yet. Arguably, what is the best linebacking duo and front 7 in the league has propelled this defense to be the 3rd best against the run this year. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw are as good as anyone at the linebacker position, and the D-line filled with talent with edge rushers like Nick Bosa and Chase Young, including guys on the inside like Javon Hargrave. Running the ball against this team is nearly impossible. The little wiggle room teams might find will be against their secondary, which is still a solid unit, ranking 15th in the league. They're led by star DB Charvarius Ward, and while their best safety Hufanga is out for the year with a torn ACL, rookie Jair Brown out of Penn State has stepped up big time for the team. All these playmakers and coordinator Steve Wilks have led them to be the 7th best ranked defense in yards allowed per game this year, and tied for 4th in the league in takeaways. Another huge key to the Niners' playoff run will be that they have the number 1 seed locked up and will have home field advantage throughout. This is something that San Francisco isn't used to, as the past few years they have had to travel on the road for the NFC Championship game. Now the Niners will have the ability to play in front of their home crowd and force teams to travel out west, which is never easy. And talent-wise, they will completely outmatch whoever they play in the second round, even if it's the Eagles, because they've been struggling so badly that it's been hard to watch. So, the Niners are the most complete team in the NFC, and really, every other team in the NFC playoff picture has some question marks. The Eagles are on an absolute downward spiral right now. The Cowboys have had a big issue stopping the run all year, which is great for the Niners. The Lions defense has been very suspect at times and given up a ton of big plays. And even with as hot as the Rams are coming into this postseason, Sean McVay is just 4-10 versus the Niners as the Rams head coach. Now, it is still the NFL, and any team can beat anyone on a given week, but the Niners could potentially coast to the Super Bowl based on potential alone. And when it comes to the Super Bowl itself, there is a good chance the Ravens would be their opponent, and this would be a huge revenge game for the Niners. But they might also be playing someone else who they match up with better, as the Ravens have struggled in postseason play over the last couple of years. That's really all I have to say for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of the playoff content I'll have coming out.